Hello, I'm Toycat, and one of the simplest lies they teach you in school is that the world is divided into roughly 200 places called countries. And this is true on the broadest level, but when you really think about it, it falls apart on basically every level. Why is it that Montenegro, Serbia, and Bosnia count as different countries, even though there is more legal variation within China, which is just one? Indeed, when you talk about federations, this gets particularly clear because when looking at a map of weed legalization, there's so much variation between countries, but it gets even deeper when you talk about things in federations like, is lane splitting legal in the US? Sort of, or when can you learn to drive? Something that should be fairly standardized is actually hugely different, with some states deciding that 14 and a half is fine, and some states, indeed Maryland, saying 15 and 3/4. What sort of nonsense is that for an age? And the answer to therefore all sorts of questions is that actually the US isn't one place, it's a bunch of different places, and the same is true for lots of federations, but it's even true in non-federations. Take where I live, for example. I live in a city that actually has 32 different governments with hugely different rules based on which government you live inside of, and this is the inspiration for today's video because I saw this really fun Reddit post from Gavin Genius who simply said I was able to guess 612 out of 3,795 world subdivisions. This is one of those goofy maps and one of those goofy games that you just figure wouldn't be in existence, but there is a quiz on Jetpunk that quizzes you to see how many of the world's 3,975 subdivisions you can find, and you know what? I can't help but try to do this, if only because I think I'll be quite bad at this. I think that most geography nerds and fans, or whatever you want to call us, ultimately are quite good at countries and the kind of official things with flags, but when you get to lower levels, it gets pretty bad, and so let's see how well I can do today. So with that said, let's get started. I'm actually going to start out, I've got 90 minutes apparently. I'm going to start outside of my own continent here to kind of prove that ultimately I think I'll do better in North America than Europe, or maybe even my own country. So we'll start with Montana. Wait, Mon is already something. Go me! Yay! I'm at 1 out of 3,795. Party time. I'm going to try Montana again. There we go. That's free now. There must be a Montana somewhere else in the world. Should we go look at where that is? Okay, so this is a big list. So there is a Mon in Myanmar, and then there must be a Montana inside of another country. This is such a big list that you would never be able to actually read through it to work out what you have and haven't done. But I'm still, oh god, look, I'm just gonna scroll. There we go. Montana is a province in Bulgaria. I am learning by doing this quiz. There's Idaho next to that, and then there's Wyoming next to that, and then there's South Dakota. South is already something by itself. I'm at 21 now. I actually think I stand a decent chance with this because one of my favorite things is looking at, so one of the countries I do know the provinces for is Sri Lanka, and they've got some really dumb name provinces. I'm allowed to say that, I'm Sri Lankan. So let's go into America some more. I'm gonna have to keep on making sure that I actually get these, but Washington, Oregon, California, that's gonna be like multiple countries, right? Oh no, it's gonna be Baja California to get Mexico in there. Then we're gonna go Nevada. Look at that, we're going from the west-east now, so let's now actually, let's stick with it. So that's Utah, below that is New Mexico, except, no, that's Arizona over there. There's probably an Arizona somewhere else in the world. It feels like a common name. There's a Colorado, just one Colorado in the world. Then we'll go top to bottom. That's North Dakota. Oh, there's a North somewhere. North is just the name of a lot of provinces. There's a North Dakota, a South Dakota. There's what is that, Nebraska. Then that's Kansas. Then that's Arkansas next to Kansas, because it's like the Kansas that belongs to the people. People's Republic of, Democratic People's Republic of. Then we've got Oklahoma over there. And then we've got Texas. We've got Louisiana. We're going to go upwards now. So Louisiana. How do you even spell Louisiana? Is that what's going to mess me up here? I don't know how to spell it, so we'll start top to the bottom again. Minnesota. It's the one that's all farm. Iowa. I know Iowa pretty well. I think y'all fine. Then there's Missouri, because Missouri loves company. And then Louisiana. There we go. Nailed it. I can spell all the states. We got Michigan, but next to Michigan is Wisconsin with all the cheese. Then next to Wisconsin's cheese. Ooh. We got Illinois. Look at this, I can name all the American states. That's what we're proving with this quiz. Illinois. Then we got Kentucky and Ohio and that other nonsense one next to Ohio. Indiana. We got Tennessee with, it's so many S's and so many E's. We got Alabama. We got Alabama. We got Florida. No, but what's between Alabama and Louisiana? It's Mississippi. Mississippi. It's gotta come on. There's hey, I nailed it. Then there's South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. Then in between those, there's Georgia first, actually. There we go. I think I've got all the states here. The Northeast is the easy one, so I'm gonna leave you blue-balled a bit here and go through the Canadian provinces next. So Canadian provinces, there's BC. It lets me do that. Perfect. Alberta, which it won't let me abbreviate. Alberta. Saskatchewan is impossible to spell, so we'll skip to Manitoba. Then we'll jump over to Ontario, and then Quebec, and then Newfoundland, which I can't just type NFL. Newfoundland is this big piece over here. Then we got the Maritimes down here, which is New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. Yeah, let's me abbreviate that too. Look at that. Canada in one fell swoop, except then there's the territories, I think they're called. Nunavut, Northwest. I'm hoping I can just type Northwest. No, I can't. I have to go Northwest Territory. There we go. And then there's that one over there, the Yukon. Oh, and I forgot about Alaska and Hawaii. My bad. Alaska, Hawaii. So I'm already doing pretty well, actually. 109. And I've just covered the world in accidental provinces, which I'm hoping I can continue. Because I do know, like, 5 Russian provinces. I bet I know like 3 Ukrainian provinces, and I could probably name all of the German ones. So I think we might actually be able to beat the person on the Reddit who challenged me to this by posting it on my Reddit. By the way, I want to point out the Reddit is dead. This is just the fact that there happens to be one from Gavin Genius was a fun thing. This went way outside of the subreddit here, and he did mess up a lot of Germany, which I'm hoping I can use to my advantage. Anyway, the timer is still going, so let's try Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Oh, come on. I can spell check. Saskatchewan. Then we'll go down through the East Coast. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, with all the Ben and Jerry's and Democratic Socialist politicians. New York, Massachusetts. God, if I'm getting that. Rhode Island is the tiny one. I had this fun thing, actually. I recently won a pub quiz at a wedding in Belgium because everyone was, one of the questions was, what's the least populated state? And everyone's like, it's Rhode Island. Everyone knows how tiny it is. But there are more people in this thing here than there are in this giant space over here, which is useful to know for your next wedding quiz. And then we've got Virginia, which is east and west. But East Virginia doesn't call itself that because it's Prime Virginia. Then we've got New Jersey, Maryland, We got, whatever that one is, Delaware. And then we got, I think it's really easy to spell Connecticut. I had a business associate from Connecticut that was not very nice. And I've now always just assumed that's how Connecticut people are. We got Pennsylvania, which is like Transylvania. Which, by the way, should we just go with Transylvania? See, this is actually really tricky. I have to type it in and then let's spell check. Spell check doesn't even know where I'm going with that. Pennsylvania. This is why spelling is important. Knowing how to spell. So Massachusetts. Oh, no. Massachusetts. There we go. I just got to get Pennsylvania. Can I spell to complete English-speaking North America? The answer is no. I have got DC, interestingly. I don't remember typing that, but I've nailed that too. So Pennsylvania is now the one state I do not know. I guess that's how it has to be known. So then we've got Baja California South. Baja California, or Baja Sur, I'll just type. Yeah. So it's funny, actually. My editor, who even the one editing this video, is from Mexico. And so I'm going to see if I can do a decent job and impress him on this one. I feel like most non-Mexicans know Baja California and Mexico, right? I type in Mexico City, and that's about it. I think Cancun might be a province. Okay, no, I'm out. There's one called Chihuahua, but I don't know how you would spell that. Hey, there's Sierra Nuevo, I want to say it's called. It's Nuevo Leon, maybe? So maybe let's remove. Am I right about that? Like Nuevo Leon? Is it just Leon? Hey, there's a Leon somewhere in the world, at least. This one is called like Tulum, right? And it's there's a big thing here. This whole part of Mexico is a really wild piece, by the way. Like everything, this is where Mexicans live, and this is their Florida, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. There's it's like famous for being weird. Oaxaca is not the one I'm thinking of. Oaxaca. Nope, that's not it. Over it's like there's it's Oaxaca, but it is spelt with an O. Maybe it's like Oaxaco. Nope. So there is a Oaxaca over there somewhere. There's Nuevo Leon something. There is definitely like a Leonish province in here. Don't know where it is. And yeah, after Tabasco and Chihuahua, I think I'm out. So I know about 2 more provinces than the average person. I'll take that. I know there's going to be Santiago in like 55 countries, so I'm going to get myself an easy... look at that. 5 Santiagos, including 1 in Cuba. So Havana is therefore going to be one if we're going to go for Cuba. And then I think that's everything I know. I'll go for London just to see what happens. It doesn't do anything. I'll go for Banana because I know that in... There's the subdivisions of like... it's everyone's favorite country over here. I know that there is a banana and a Poland. So I'll try banana again. I'll try Poland. It's not working well for me. So this is my North America knowledge. I think I could realistically do pretty well by guessing city names in like the Dominican. Like Punta Cana. Oh, nice. Yeah, but then I think we're kind of out. Like Georgetown will be a division of somewhere. Georgetown. Oh no, Georgetown. So that's my like best knowledge of the Caribbean kind of locked down right there. I'm sure I could get the Dominican and Haiti done a bit better than I'm doing right here. If I really started to like name like all the major cities and just guess that they share a province. But these are the provinces I know. I guess we'll go for Panama is probably a province. Yep. Guatemala is therefore probably a province. A lot of the countries around here are named after the cities. Well, vice versa, actually. I don't actually know which way it goes. So then I'm going to just say that South America is going to be where I've got to get some easy points. I'm going to go for a controversial one just for fun. And I'm going to go Islas Malvanas. I don't know how the Spanish people call that. So I'll go for Falklands. Will it say both names here? Oh, no, just the Falklands. And then what else do I know of South America here? Well, they've got a Santiago. They're going to have a Buenos Aires, right? Because province and area, which means Montevideo is good. Yeah, I can use my capitals to get me a little bit of knowledge here. And Brazil, I should know at least 3 provinces in Brazil. So there's Rio, there's Brasilia, there's Amazon. It's called like Manego or something. I don't know what it's called then. And then there's a bunch of other ones that people know. So Brasilia and Rio are the 2 big cities, but there's that 3rd big city that is commonly went to as well. Like, it's like, you know, there's 3 parts of Brazil people go to, and I've only named 2 of the parts. Man, that's a pretty poor showing for South America. So we'll go for like, yeah, that's a really poor showing for South America. I'm going to say Venezuela. Caracas is going to be a city region as well, right? Apparently it's a lot of other things. Caracas was not in Venezuela, or it's very tiny. And yeah, that's as far as we get. This is our Western Hemisphere knowledge. But Europe is where I can make up some ground. Oh no, they've divided, because I guess it's level 2 subdivisions. Ireland's divided into 36 or whatever, but the UK is divided into 4. So I'll get my easy 4 points, but I'm not happy about it. England, Scotland, Wales... NI. Okay, Northern Ireland. For Ireland, I think I can do reasonably well. There's County Wexford. There's County... Oh, God. Dublin. Which means Cork is probably a county too. Then there's going to be Waterford, which is separate to Wexford, interestingly. Then there's Kenny. Is Kenny not a county? Maybe it's like Killenny or something like that. There's County Shannon, I think, right? There's no County Shannon. There's Limerick. No, Limerick's not a county? Okay, it's got 1 M. We got it. Then there's like Lublin, I want to say. I think that was Poland, not... No, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. There's a place in Ireland that sounds like Lublin. But it's not Lublin, apparently. There's like Sligo. Yeah, I know my... And then this northwest one I happen to know, because people go there all the time. I don't know why. I have no idea. No one lives there, but people go there. But I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what to do about this one. Yeah, that might be my Ireland done. I've gone through some of the middle stuff, but I don't know the county names. So it's decent, I guess. I got more parts of Ireland than I got off the UK. I'll consider that a win. Please, Irish government, do not deny my citizenship off the basis of this. And then we'll go for Luxembourg. And then I know there's a Luxembourg in Belgium too. I didn't know Luxembourg was divided into subregions. I didn't think it was big enough. So I guess we'll go for Germany next, because I think I can do all of Germany. Let's go for the easy wins. So there's Frankfurt, which is in Hessen. There's Northwest. Oh god, let's go Berlin. Then there's around Berlin. No, there's Bremen, and then there's Hamburg. Those are the three city-states. Then there's Munich, which is the big one. No, Munich is in Bavaria. There's the Black Forest, which is the Rhineland. That can't be right, but that gave me, that's not the southwest one I'm looking for. So then the Saarbrücken is separate to the Rhineland. So Saarbrücken. How do you spell Saarbrücken? Like this apparently. Is that not the Saarbrücken? Is Saarbrücken the city and it's something else? I don't know then, clearly. So I can't do all of the German places. It's like north, west, I don't know it apparently. I was feeling confident. I was feeling too confident. So there's Saxony. Then there's Lower Saxony. Yeah. Wait, what? Lower Saxony's over there and regular Saxony's over there? That's gotta be confusing to be German. That's incredibly confusing. Up here, it's got like a semi-German, semi-Danish name, but I don't know it. Look at me, by the way. I've got Southern Denmark and Northern Denmark locked in already. So let's now go to Spain, where I know the Basque County. I know Valencia. Will Gibraltar get me a point by itself? Yeah! Oh, the UK gets all the overseas territories. BVI. Okay. Virgin Islands. Yeah, that's two of them. So I got... is Hong Kong going to get me a point? Let's go for Hong Kong. My favorite British territory. We've got Macau. My least favorite Portuguese territory. And then we've got all of the Chinese... Okay, this is where we can score some points on this guy. Again, look at... I'm going to use this as my benchmark. Can I beat it? Gavin Genius here is doing pretty poorly in Asia. He did really well in France and Australia. So as long as we can match him there and do better in Asia, we'll do fine. So I happen to know Chongqing. Chongqing? Okay, I don't happen to know it. I know Wuhan. Wuhan's the city, not the province. There's a province called like Shaanxi, Shaanxi, but I don't know it. Sichuan is definitely a province. It's a big one too. Everyone knows Tibet, and everyone knows Xinjiang, if only because it gives them conflicted feelings about buying things on Temu. There's Guangzhou. Let's see if spell check's got me there. Guangzhou is definitely a region. This is Guangzhou. Come on, is it the capital G that's throwing it off? Come on, what's wrong with this? Is Guangzhou not a region of China? Anyway, so there's Canton. No, there's not. That's oh god if I know. So we'll go Beijing. I'm hoping it's a region. We'll go Shanghai because it is a city-state of its own. Then I guess that's my China done pretty poorly. I'll try and be the best weeb I can right now and get Japan locked down. So there's Tokyo, there's Sapporo, that giant island. No, Sapporo is the city. The island is known as... it's a big island. Hokkaido. There we go. That's a big one. I'm going to go for Fuking. That's not a real city. I'm going to go for Hiroshima, I'm going to guess is a city, Anna. Yeah, here we go. There's Kyoto then. Osaka. Osaka is... Okay, Osaka's good. Yeah, I felt like I would do good with Japan, but when you actually think about it, how many provinces do you know? And how well can you spell them is a fun problem in this. So let's now go for Australia. WA, Western Australia. South Australia. Then there's the Northern Territory. And then there's the ACT. And then what's the other one? Canberra? Is it separate to the ACT? It's a little blob that we haven't got here. So there's Victoria and New South Wales, and then there's, what is that one? Queensland? Queensland, locked it in, and then there's Tasmania. That's all of Australia besides this. I thought this legally counted as part of the ACT, unless it's Jarvis Bay. Jarvin, it's definitely the Bay of something. But I'm like 99% sure that's the Australian Capital Territory. Am I wrong? Apparently I must be. New Zealand doesn't have any divisions, so New Zealand. Oh, come on. And then South Africa has Cape Town's not going to be a, no, it's not. I don't know the regions actually. I know the cities. So I guess we're not getting anything here. I'm going to hope that we can get something in North Africa. Like, you know, Egypt, Cairo has got to be a region. It's got to be, right? Yeah, it is. And then, like, Sahara is going to be the name of someone's region. Sahara West? Sahara East? Okay, no, I'm giving up on that vision. So now we're going to go to India. So as you can see, this is what I was talking about with, like, Sri Lanka has some really goofy province names. Southern Province, Northwestern Province, Northern Province. I think Colombo Province is where my grandma's from. Oh, she lies. It's just the city of Colombo. So I have no idea. I think there's some weird ones in there, but I don't get... It's kind of a... It is fun to challenge yourself. But also, when you challenge yourself, you realize you know less than you think you do. So Italy, I think, you know the regions of Italy because food always has to brag about where it's from. There's Tuscany. There's Roma. I don't even know. So I'll go for San Marino. Get that country, actually. Let's use countries as our way to boost our knowledge here. Monaco is going to count as a thing. So how many provinces can I actually name in Italy? I don't think that many. What about Switzerland? I think Zurich, Zug, Bern. I don't know many beyond that. Geneva, everyone knows. Everyone knows, like, that might be my, like, so this is as far as zoomed in as we can get with Switzerland. I feel like any one of them I'd be like, yeah, I've heard of that before. But I can't recall it off the top of my head. I think the same is probably true for France. Like, I know Brittany exists. I know that the Paris region is called, like, Ile-de-France. Because France sure do be ill. And then I don't even know. Like, Saarland is not one of them. Yeah, my France is really going to let me down here. Like, yeah, I don't know any of the other regions of France. It's not something that comes up very often. I'm guessing... I can do all of Belgium. We can go for Brussels for the capital. And then there's Flanders. And then there's Wallonia. Yeah, 100% Belgium. Locked it down. And then the Netherlands, for some reason, is just one. That seems like not how that country is actually divided. And then... Yeah, Slovenia is divided into this most ridiculous level of subdivisions for a tiny country. Moldova too. So I'll just go for the capitals of those countries. Ljubljana. No, I will not. And then it's Chirest. I don't even know what it is. For Spain, Madrid is going to be one, right? And then in the south, it's like Andalusia. There's some good sauce from there, I hear. Then, in the middles, I've got the Basque County already. I've got Catalonia already, right? Oh, I don't have Catalonia already. What an easy win. And, yeah, there's some tiny ones up here that I should clearly know, but I do not know. Is 243 close to my ceiling? Well, we'll go for Poland. Warsaw. Okay, no. So... regions of Poland. Gdansk. That's not its own region. I know cities are not regions of Poland. So Norway, maybe? Oh, yeah. This is my lesson in how little I know about some of these regions. I think I know things, and I don't know things. So Sweden, I know Malmo. That's got to be a region 2, right? Oh, it's not a region 2. It's Stockholm. Stockholm has to be, yeah. And then it's like Valandia. You know, it's like... Should we start guessing commonplace names? Like place. Province. Provincia. Nope. We could go for Iceland. I know there's like the Fayman Islands. This is why you need to be precise in your knowledge. Reykjavik. Hey, I got it for that. Yeah, that was a very poor spelling. Greenland. Apparently that gets me one. The Faroe Islands, therefore. Yeah. Faroe. Yeah, I am killing it. By just typing in places you do know, you'll get a lot of places you don't know. That's what I'm learning. I was in Vietnam, so I'm hoping that Hanoi is a region. And so Ho Chi Minh... It can't be called Ho Chi Minh City, right? Oh, it is called Ho Chi Minh. Unless the region is still called Saigon. Oh, it is! That's fascinating. Saigon gets you Ho Chi Minh, I guess. There's Da Nang. Yeah, and that's free. It's free more than I was expecting to get. So Bangkok for Thailand, right? Bangkok. Then there's... It's in the north, but it's big. And then there's Phuket. Yeah, if we can just know Southeast Asian cities, we'll be good. I guess I should also go for all the micro countries that are going to be one. Like Singapore. Is Singapore subdivided? Singapore's subdivided? So, what is the island off Singapore that everyone goes to holiday? I don't know it. I don't know it. Ah. Okay, we'll go for India as my last hurrah. I think I can do reasonably okay in India. There's Goa. There's Uttar. Thank God that it did the rest for me. There's the Seven Sisters over here. There's Delhi. Everyone loves a good Delhi. Then there's Mumbai. That's a city. What's the region? Gujarat, I want to say. It's something like that. There's a dry part on the west here. And yeah, I think staring at an empty map will convince you know nothing. Like, okay, I'll go for Russia. Moscow. That's two regions. What is that? Like Moscow and Moscow. How can they both be called Moscow? So I this isn't cheating. I just need to know right now. Subdivisions of Russia. Let's go. Subdivisions of Russia. Oh, I guess it would be cheating if I went that. So let's go for Moscow region. Moscow region. First level. So there's the Moscow Oblast, and then presumably there's the Moscow city. So it's one of the most densely populated regions in the country, and it's the second most populous because the Moscow is the capital and largest city, and it sits in, does it sit within the Moscow county, or is it like an administrative city? Is it a city that gets to decide itself, but then there's a Moscow Oblast? That's hugely interesting. Yeah, the federal city of Moscow, which is not part of an oblast, but rather a federal subject in its own right. So there are two Moscows in Russia. What a crazy situation to be in. Anyway, so let's speaking of crazy situations. St. Petersburg. That's got to be its own one, right? Then there's like Ural. Yeah, Ural. I didn't get it, but I got something else. And then there's like these islands, the Sakil Islands, I want to say they're called in Russian. I don't know what they're actually called. Mongolia has... There's definitely going to be one just called Mongolia. Oh, that's the classic fact right there. Yeah. I mean, I did better on China than I was expecting. But there's huge swaths of the world where everyone can name the country, but I don't know that you can name a subdivision very well. Like, I know Tehran, and what else do you know about Iran? This is the thing about countries. They centralize so well that you don't, like, a lot of places that would be famous in their own right aren't famous because they're part of a country. Okay, Ankara. There we go. Izmir is going to be one, right? That's a famous one. Then there's like, I think there's one place called Kar. I swear to God, there's a city in Turkey called Kar. I'm gonna go Car Turkey. Am I crazy for thinking it's called Car? I am crazy for thinking there's a city in Turkey called Tar, because apparently all I'm planning is CNN Turkey. What? Am I crazy for that? I guess I must be crazy for that. Yeah, I don't know otherwise. I guess I could do like Greece well, because there's Crete. And then there's the other one, Santorini. I think Santorini might be in Crete. Then there's, in Italy, I haven't got Sardinia. Or Corsica. Oh, yeah. Naming islands, that gets some real power in here. Then there's, the people go to party there. That's right. Tenerife. Oh, Tenerife is on the Canary Islands. Canary. And then these ones are the Azores. No, the Azores are like... Oh, there's... In between... There's something even further west than that, but I guess this is something else. This is, like, Portugal's not quite the Azores. Then... yeah, I guess we'll go for Ukraine. Like, Donetsk. Because of the war, everyone knows a little bit more about Ukraine. There's Lviv. Then there's Kiev. Yeah, that's a city and a region again, it looks like. Should we go for all the other Baltics and assume they've got the same thing? Like, Minsk is a city and a region. So does that mean that Estonia's Tallinn is the same? Tallinn is neither a city nor a region. Is Riga? Riga is a city, not a region. So we'll go for Budapest. Budapest definitely will be, because it's like two cities, so it's not one city. Oh, Austria I think I could do quite well. So there's Vienna. Then there's Tyrol. There's two Tyrols. One in Austria, one in... So I'll go for South Tyrol now. Yeah, look at me getting some Italy. And then, yeah, see that the tangential, like... I think you've just got to approach a map at different angles. And approach parts of your brain in different ways. Like, I've looked at enough election maps of Austria to be like, oh yeah, there's Tyrol. Then there's one that sounds like someone's yelling at you. And then there's whatever's near Vienna. And then there's the thing over here that's right next to Germany. Speaking of Germany, I definitely could get these names with enough time. Like, the one around Berlin, it's so well known. If I was in Berlin, I'd be like, oh yes, this belongs to the Brandenburg region. Brandenburg? There we go. It's interesting that it's interesting how quizzes can be like a way to get information out of yourself. So I'm gonna guess there's a Siberian Oblast. No, I'm wrong. There's the Jewish Oblast. So if I type in Jewish, I'll get that one. I assume I got the Jewish Oblast and not something else. Not North Kazakhstan. Yeah, there's the Jewish Oblast, just called Jewish. Is Israel subdivided? It's just southern and northern Israel, it looks like. Well, I get points for Gaza then. Oh, I will. And then West Bank. It's called the West Bank, right? I'll go for Jerusalem just in case. If I could spell Jerusalem, I'd go for it. I'll go for Tbilisi. Yeah, okay. That's something. And then I'll go for, like, Yerevan. Yeah, just naming capitals. I do have to concede. I'm at half of this guy, and it looks like so much of the map is empty. But it helps you to know how little of some countries you know about. There is so much of Poland. You might think you know Poland, but if you only know Eastern Poland, maybe you should be investing in Western Poland. Your kids might regret it if you don't, right? Or your kids will regret it if you do and you don't invest the other way around. But I mean, what's important to know is there's Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad. Yeah, that's more Russia, technically speaking. These islands are called, like, the Bornholm Islands. Oh, I got another one. It's Vaxland, maybe? No, Vaxland is near Stockholm. What are those islands called? Then there's the Aloe Islands, the Faroe, not the Faroe, there's those ones between Sweden and Finland that everyone's a little bit salty about. Helsinki is not one. Is Murmansk a province? I think Murmansk has to be a province. Yeah, look at that. Got a weird one. We'll go for Svalbard, because it's a nice big landmass. Madagascar is a mess. I think I do know a Madagascar one, though. I'm just going to type in Madagascar, and I'm going to see if they just named a province. They did not name a province that way. I should know some Argentina or some Chile. Very disappointed in my lack of knowledge there. I think if I just go over Pennsylvania, I'll make the map look better at least. Pennsylvania. Damn it. How do you spell? There we go. I got close enough for the spell check. So weirdly, I've got 5 countries down, and it's the Anglosphere. I know every province in New Zealand, Argentina, the UK, the US, and Canada. And then the closest I've gone elsewhere is Germany. I'm going to go for it. You know, have I got Rhineland Palatinate? I would have gone Palpatine, so that's wrong. This is called Northwest. Have I gotten the Northwest one yet? This is the region with all the people in Germany in it. Hanover is in Lower Saxony, I guess. This one is called something, and this is called like something that seems a lot like Denmark. It's got like a famous name. It should incite some tensions, but it's Germany, so it doesn't seem to. Yeah, I feel like this one's called Northwest something, but surely it would have to be Southwest. Let's go for Southwest. I got something with that. Southwest Rhine the Black Forest is in there. It's like no one ever visits intentionally, but everyone ends up there eventually. And then there's the East ones. Everyone knows the East ones because they're all voting for the party that people aren't as down with these days. Is it Jutland? No, it's the Germany's provinces. Maddening. I should know them all. They're in my brain somewhere. I don't know where though. So I think that is as good as we're getting. I think I'm not going to complete any other countries. Well, actually, I guess you could argue I've completed the ones that don't subdivide. Also, if we did divide the UK into counties, I think I wouldn't be able to name all the counties, which is interesting. I've also missed some overseas territories, like, I don't know, Easter Island. Oh, look at that! Whoa! Killed it. Let's go for Christmas. 315. Yeah, all of a sudden. Okay, let's go for Taipei. I know a lot of the rest of Taiwan, but apparently not off the top of my head. South Korea. Okay, so there's Busan. And then there's Seoul. And then there's the new capital. And then, so I'm guessing Pyongyang will also get me some points. There we go. Yeah, if you really sit here and try, I've got 53 minutes that I could totally use to get the rest of this. But I think this is as good as I'm getting for now. So what is the final verdict? In 40 minutes, I can guess about 10% of the world's subdivisions. Which I don't think is... I think makes me wonder. So I'm going to give up here. And then it will give me this little map. Red versus green, really highlighting some of my ineptitudes. Some of which I would have gotten eventually, some of which I never would have. I just need to know. So this is Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Okay, I would have never gotten that. This is Schleswig-Holstein. I would have gotten that. North Rhine-Westphalia. Damn it! What is North doing between Rhine and Westphalia? And this is Baden-Württemberg. So yeah, I was getting this and that mixed up. It is the Saarland, not Saarbrücken. Saarbrücken is the city in the Saarland. There's Thuringia, I would have gotten that. And Saxony-Anhalt, a third Saxony appears. Come on, Germany, up your game. I think Aragon is big because of Catherine. Castile and Leon. Galicia. Yeah, I think with enough time, I could have gotten basically everything in Spain. The Balearic Islands, I don't think I would have... I would have never called them the Balearic Islands. Like, I know it as Ibiza. Bermuda, obviously, there's a few Caribbean territories. But what was the name? Nuevo Leon. Did I not type in Nuevo Leon? Can we go for a fact check on that one? I feel like Anyway, I beat 56% of test takers. The average score is 348. My high score is 319. So I did pretty well, but obviously could do a lot better. I think a quiz I would like to practice for before learning is all subdivisions with 10 million or more people. I'm just going to start and fail this one. There's 111 answers, and the average score is 43. I would love to learn every place on the planet that has more than 10 million people, Because I think it's arguable that it's more worth knowing about, Baden-Württemberg than it is about, let's be real, some, I don't know, Bhutan or something. I think it's more worth knowing about Kinshasa than Luxembourg or whatever, whatever, unless you are very culturally close to these places. And so here's the list. It's where I've got to go. Oh, it's so interesting seeing how much of Russia, the US, Canada, all of Australia is just not in there. This is a cool map by itself, actually. I feel like this would be a cool thing. Anyway, this has been a fun little recording session. Just so you know, you did beat me, Gavin Genius. And I wasn't expecting that. But that's why I think I'd like for you to take this quiz. And also, if you're on Jetpunk, you can actually see which countries I visited. And I've actually visited 2... I like to update it on videos. Because it's kind of my version of a scratch-off map. I've been to 2 more Canadian provinces now. Meaning that if I just go... So if we look at my little list... If I just go to 2 more, now that I've been to PEI and I've been to New Brunswick, 2 more Canadian provinces and I've got a full sweep of Canada. I mean, besides the territories. And then, we're getting pretty close to doing the US as well. And honestly, not that far off Australia, really looking at it. Maybe I should just double down on being the Anglosphere guy. Also, Hunan, Hubei, with a little more time, I think I could beat 600. Give me some revision time and I'd do great. But life isn't about revision time. Life is about what you know right now. Unless you're in school or something, in which case, stay in school, revise. It doesn't matter, but you should still do it. Okay, thank you for watching. Second channel, don't care. Goodbye.